With great honor and great love, I introduce Dirk Terpstra speaking about the intuitive heart. Please give him a warm welcome.
Good morning, everybody. Just a sip of water here. Speaking about veterans, where are your children and grandchildren? Just kidding. Life is all you have to live. Beautiful, beautiful. And I couldn't help, while watching these guys express themselves through music, how amazing it is when you connect to your heart, what comes out of it. And it's often in a flow. We don't try hard. And I would like to speak a little bit about the intuitive heart. And I had a story come up actually yesterday when I was thinking about it. But first of all, I'm not sure about you, but I love to lose control. Why are you laughing? I love to lose control. A lot of people don't like that. Not because when I lose control, but they don't like to lose control. That is scary. And yet, when we talk about connecting with the heart, being all one, and being connected to a larger source, that's a beautiful concept to think about. That when you truly, truly, deeply start connecting with a larger part of yourself, it's often in periods where you didn't ask for it. And that's of course what I meant with losing control. I'm not talking here about rage or anger whatsoever. And it was about 7 years ago that I was out of Vernon, where I live, in the springtime of 2010, and I was paddling with a friend of mine in a canoe. Spring runoff, very fast-flowing water, and I like that, just to challenge myself a little bit and go with the flow of the river. And then I noticed that there was a couple who was in danger. They flipped their canoe, and I didn't see them come up. And I said to my body, I have to get out. So I jumped out of the canoe to help these two people. And they were able to get on shore safely. But the water was getting very, very strong. The current was getting very strong. And I was being dragged along. And my friend saw that I was getting in trouble, and he threw a lifeline out to me, and it was attached to the canoe. And I grabbed the lifeline and I started swimming, and the rope got tangled around my leg, and it hurt really badly. And then in the corner of the river was a big log jam. And the water sucked under these huge logs, and I was being sucked under right away. And I got under, and I didn't get out of the water for quite a while. And then I shut up again, and I went under again, and my buddy in the canoe couldn't hold it any longer, and he was trying to paddle, but he's going downstream, dragging me along with him. And I went under again, and I was initially fighting hard, and then suddenly I thought, this feels amazing. It was like, and now I got it. When you listened to my meditation this morning, I got an epiphany, because I was talking about the waves and the ocean below the waves. And it felt like peace, eternal peace. And then I shut up again, and I looked in the eyes of my body, and he was in such a fear, and that helped me realize that it wasn't time to go for me. So I thought, I have to do something, and suddenly I knew that in my life vest I had a knife, and I was cutting the rope. And this is how I could free myself. And I'm telling you this story because this was a life-changing moment for me. This was not some kind of choice that I made. I didn't go to a workshop and learn about the intuition of the heart. I was being dragged right into it in a very raw way. And I saw my life coming by, and I knew that I was very close of leaving this place. And at the same time, it felt amazing. And since that time, I have such a deep connection with something larger than myself. And this is basically why I do the work that I do. Janet briefly, while she kindly and lovingly introduced me, I work a lot with veterans. And these guys are like ex-military and RCMP with PTSD or severe PTSD. And they come in the clinic where I work and they say, well, we have been trying many programs. I suffer from PTSD now for the last 20, 30 years sometimes. And they're literally with their backs against the wall. And they say, whatever it is, if this doesn't work, I better well end my life. And then I think to myself, no pressure, Dirk. And they literally tell me, and they say, well, whatever you have to offer me, I'm open. And I'm willing to do whatever you tell me to do. And we work with them in very deep ways. And I use the body as a tool to connect deeper to who they really are. Tomorrow morning I have to drive back in the afternoon after the workshop, because tomorrow morning there's a new group starting. And what is it about the heart, about the intuition, that makes us so rich and so connected, feel so connected? And especially during moments when we are feeling that we are losing control, these are the moments in our lives that we get the most breakthroughs, including the guys that I work with. Because when I started about 2 years ago working with the veterans, I never realized how deeply, deeply they were connected to something larger. I just never realized that. I thought it was a couple of really raw, big, strong guys, often twice as big as I am, and they are just ready. Some are literally being trained to kill. But there is a deeper knowing inside of them that says, well, this is what I do, and yes, I've almost lost myself in this through all the trauma, through all the injuries and everything, but at the same time there is a part that I find is still there, and I want to rediscover it, and I want you, they tell me, to help me with that. And it's very beautiful. And if you talk about your intuition, if we are disconnected from our hearts, we start feeling fear, and we feel doubt. And this is basically what I often sense when I go out in the world. A big part of the model of our world is based on fear. You see that in politics, you see that in corporations, also the one that I worked in. You see that in a lot of different institutions, including churches. We base a lot on fear. And this is where we start losing ourselves. But when we can find the connection with our heart, the intuitive capacities, the intelligence of our heart tells us that we are everything that we ever want to become. We are the love that once created us. We literally are the beauty that we see in other people and often forget to see in ourselves. It's not so hard to give love away and to be kind and to be nice to others, but to be truly, truly seeing that same love and beauty and perfection in yourself, that is not easy. And that reminds me of being a window or being a mirror. And when you start finding the connection with your heart, which I will be actually talking about this afternoon all the time. This is what the workshop is about. I bring in some science, but I also make you feel a little uncomfortable. I won't take you out on the river. I'm sure you won't be drowning. But I know by now is that when we get out of our own comfort zone, that is when change, the biggest change, is happening. But all the concepts that we're holding on to, the beauty of our heart and the wisdom and all the spiritual concepts, are often concepts coming from here. And when it comes from here, yes, we do get an understanding of what it is like. But we still don't have the experience. When I would tell you, let's say, you're young and you've never fallen in love before, and I start explaining to you how amazing it is to fall in love with somebody, to feel the butterflies in your stomach, and you go maybe days without eating because you're so obsessed about the other person. You laugh about it, you think, yes, because you might have experienced it. But this person might tell me, Dirk, this sounds amazing. I want to have this experience. But you don't know yet what love is, because you need to experience it first, or to fall in love. And it's the same with being connected to your heart. If you truly feel this deeper connection, and you know it's true, and you know it's also something that will never leave you anymore. It is this deep, deep knowing. And when I said in the meditation, we have beliefs, and we have many beliefs. And those beliefs can be about anything. It can be about what the world is all about. It could be about our health. It could be around religion or connection. But these beliefs, at some point, might just fall apart, and we might feel shattered. They literally can let us down in times of fear, or in times of feeling very unsettled. But when you get to this knowing, this deeper knowing that's coming from your heart, there's this steadfast knowing. And when I was underwater, I felt this deep connection where I just knew that I was safe, no matter what would happen. And in that moment, it didn't matter to me whether I would leave my body or I would stay. It was only that my friend made me aware that I was still here. And I thought, I have a family, and I have friends that I want to be there for, and I have a message to share. And that's basically what it comes down to. What is it? What is the message that you came here to share? Because we want a lot from life. When you turn it around and you say, what does life want from us? Why are we here? And I know for sure, this is a knowing, that we are all here on purpose. Let's have Jenna to pick on again. And say once the Creator was there and was holding Janet, and it was like, oops, sorry, I dropped Janet on the planet. That was a mistake. No, of course not. Of course not. We are all here with a deep, deep purpose. And it's not always so easy to find that purpose. But when you begin to find the connection to your heart, what you basically are doing, and that is what most people don't realize, is that you find a connection to a larger heart. And I call that our cosmic heart. This is the infinite intelligence and love that once created us. That keeps your heart beating every morning. That let the flowers bloom in the springtime. And for people who know me a little better, they know that I love flowers. And in the springtime around my house, I see those beautiful tiger lilies coming up, growing, and I take one between my fingers and I look at it and I think, wow, how amazing. It's dark orange petals with these brown spots. and a beautiful heart, and I look at it, and I know that this flower was created from the same field of intelligence and love that we are being created. So I do see the perfection in a flower. Why would it be so hard to see the perfection in myself? This is where our mind kicks in. Our mind keeps telling us stories. Our mind keeps literally telling us lies. And these lies, we start believing. And so when you know that you are here on purpose, and when you know that you are perfect, we have this saying, nobody is perfect. But I disagree. Because I believe everybody is perfect. Just the way you came here. You are perfect. And even though there are challenging times in your life where you have a really, really hard time believing that there is perfection in creation, even then there is an amazing message in there. But it's often hard to see that, especially to figure that out with our mind. But how open are you? I love the saying once by Ralph Waldo Emerson, who said, "It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so." And that's, if you think about that, that is really, really hard to accept. Our ego starts kicking in because we might have been holding on to such a strong belief. And now, for example, science shows us that it might work in a different way. We've seen that in so many fields of science. How open are you? How open are you to also let go of all the perceived ideas that you have and that you came here, today? How open are you to let go to all of that and to start tapping into a deeper wisdom? And you can only do that, like I said before, when you start feeling a little uncomfortable or your body starts telling you something. And there are beautiful exercises and tools and techniques for that. And when I work with the veterans, it's really hard to make a connection with them because they have built layers and layers and layers of trauma around themselves. But when we go to the heart, and I teach them how to become heart coherent, when I take them into very deep, deep breathing exercises where their body starts feeling uncomfortable, this is basically where they start feeling things. Because initially, I always say with the heart math techniques, I say, now feel something that you are grateful for. And then after a minute, one of the guys said, "But sorry, Dirk," he says, "I can't feel anything." And I never realized that there are people here that can't feel. If you ask me to do push-ups every day, 20 push-ups every day, I get really strong muscles. Doesn't mean that my legs are strong, because I didn't train my legs. And so when we were little kids, we came home with our report cards from school, and our parents said, "Hey, that's amazing, you did so well. All straight A's. Here is a toonie," whatever they gave you. And they want to get you to the best universities. And they want to get you to the best places because you are smart. You can use your intellect. And now something during your life happens, on a very emotional level, a very traumatic experience. And we try to resolve it with this muscle that we've been training all of our lives. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So when we have the capacity now to go to our heart, and we've learned how to connect with our heart, this is where we find the answers. And part of what I'm doing, and I'm helping people also to realize, is I help people to connect to the heart and truly, truly start proving to them that they basically know anything they want. Because we seem to always want to have proof. So I want to help people to get that proof and to show them that you didn't know this. Well, I know you know for sure that you know it. They say, no, I've never seen it. We'll get you to a place. And then suddenly they are able to draw a picture that they've never seen. is this possible? I said, well, you're tapping into your larger heart, your cosmic heart. This is where we can download anything. Anything that has ever been invented, anything that creatively has been created, including the music and everything, we all download it from a larger place. So I would like to invite you for the afternoon to join me on a little journey where we learn more about the heart from our intellect. But we also learn to deeper connect with the heart and with a larger heart that we are connected to. And you might find some deep, deep revelations, some deep answers that you always have been longing for, to get to questions that you might have been pondering throughout your life. And it's amazing to see what happens when you deeply, deeply connect to your heart. And so I would leave you with this quote that I love, and maybe I even shared it last time when I was here, probably because I really like it, and it's by Rumi. And it says, you know, you're not just a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. Everything that's in the ocean lies in that same drop. So everything that lies outside of you, what you think lies inside of you, lies in here. This is who you are. You might have forgotten it. This is truly, truly who you are. You are a piece of God. God is living